With news stations now providing wall-to-wall coronavirus coverage, one major news story which really slipped under everybody's radar is the fact that worldwide oil prices have completely collapsed. Now, the backdrop behind this is that Saudi Arabia and Russia fell out of love. They had been in a sort of contract in which they were reducing their output in order to keep the prices up and sell oil that way. Now, this is leading to a situation where United States domestic producers are really struggling, and so Donald Trump is now considering letting them rent out space in the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. In order to, sort of allow them to keep producing oil so that they don't have to lay off as many workers, and just fill up the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Now, previously, the plan had been to allow them, basically, the United States government would buy oil from the companies and then place it in the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. That had been a $3 billion allocation in the coronavirus relief package, but that was blocked by Democrats who didn't want to see that, and so now that is what they are hoping for. Now, this is possibly going to end pretty soon. With oil prices have kind of spiked over the past couple of days. Both Brent and WTI have been going up over the past 2 days as hopes emerge that basically certain suppliers are holding back their output because they hope that prices will be up soon, because there's hope now that there will be an end to this, into the low prices. Now, part of this is also isn't actually just economic, isn't just concerns that way, is also some humanitarian concerns going on, because a lot of these sort of Gulf and Middle Eastern nations depend very heavily for their government revenue on oil prices. And so right now, Iraq is actually struggling to pay for their militia and pay for a lot of essential things, and including some of their military, which is in the middle of fighting ISIS right now. So there's concerns that this could lead to sort of a humanitarian crisis in the sort of long run. And so there's been a lot of, like I was saying, there's been a lot of international pressure from countries, and to sort of end this thing. But of course, many countries around the world are filling up their petroleum reserves as a result of this crash. So we're going to have to see. My guess is that in the medium term, we will see some kind of resolution to this. Now, you can actually debate, though, whether or not this is, what you'd like to see. Personally, I've talked about on this channel, I would be interested in seeing some serious long-term investments in green energy and green technology. I think that's the future. So I do think that we're going to start to see some innovation, especially with the recognition just how interconnected our markets are, that as soon as a deal falls apart between Saudi Arabia and Russia, now domestic oil producers are in a lot of trouble. Last time around when oil prices really fell down, they didn't fall down like this. What we saw was actually a lot of innovation on the part of American companies, oil companies, where they're now producing oil a lot more efficiently and a lot more cheaply. And with that, now some of that came with a lot of environmental concerns like fracking, the development of fracking technologies. But we actually also did see some green technologies come out of that. And so my hope is that with proper investments, especially now with interest rates so low, we are looking at a possible situation where we could implement a serious infrastructure package to really change things around. My hope is that we can do that, and we can sort of take advantage of this crisis to really advance green technology around the world. The other big concern, like I was talking about with the humanitarian concern, of course, is that if domestic oil production completely completely ends, and we're basically becoming oil dependent again on other countries. My concern personally would be that then there's a ton of pressure from neocons to begin invading other countries. And I definitely don't want any neocon to have any reason to pressure people to be invading other countries, because that's something that we don't want to see, that I don't really like. So, the way to sort of remove that kind of dependency, of course, is to invest in some of those green technologies where we can produce things here at home as opposed to being reliant on all these other countries. That's my opinion about it. You can let me know what you think about it down in the comment section below. But if you like the video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button and consider subscribing. Thanks.